Good morning, children. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 4, the Western Desert. Now, children, in this chapter we are going to learn about the climate and vegetation of Western Desert, landforms that we see in the Western Desert, and life in the Western Desert. Now, children, before starting the chapter, let us answer this question. Which of these two places is suitable for agriculture and why? So children, here you can see there are two pictures. On the left side, in the first picture, you can see there is a farmer and he has grown huge quantities of crops. And in the second image, it is a desert. Now children, out of these two places, the first place or the first picture is where crops can be grown or agriculture can be done because it's a plain area. Here, the quality of the soil will be good as well as there will be water for irrigating the field. So, that is why first place is suitable for agriculture. Now, in the second image, children, you can see it's a desert. So, here the desert has sandy soil and there is lack of water also. That is why, children, here you cannot practice agriculture. Here agriculture cannot be done because the desert has sandy soil and due to lack of water and rainfall we cannot practice agriculture on a desert. So out of these two places, the first place is suitable for agriculture. Now children, let us continue reading our lesson. The Great Indian Desert, which is also known as the Thar Desert, lies to the west of the northern plains. It covers a major part of West Rajasthan. To the northeast of the Thar Desert is the Satluj River basin. To the south is a salt marsh known as the Run of Kutch. To the southeast is the Aravli Range of hills, and the desert extends in the west up to Pakistan till the Indus River basin. So, children, as you all know, there are six physical features in India about which we have already read in chapter number 1. And children, we have read about two physical features till now. So in chapter 2 we read about northern mountains and in chapter 3 we learnt about northern plains. Now we have started with the third physical feature which is there in India, and it is the Western Desert. So children, the Great Indian Desert or the Western Desert is also known as the Thar Desert. So all these names are used for the desert that is there in our country. The Western Desert, the Great Indian Desert and the Thar Desert. All the things are the same. All the names are the same. Now, the Thar Desert, children, it lies to the west of the northern plains. So where we have northern plains on the northern side, to the west of northern plains lies the Thar Desert. And since it is present on the western part of India, children, that is why it is also known as the Western Desert. On the map, children, you can clearly see on this map, you can clearly see that the Great Indian Desert is on the west side of the Great Northern Plains. So this is the location of Thar Desert or the Great Indian Desert in our country. Now children, the Thar Desert covers a large part of West Rajasthan. So, Thar Desert covers a big area of the western Rajasthan, and to the northeast of Thar Desert is the Satluj River basin. So, here river Satluj flows. Then to the south lies a salt marsh that is known as Run of Kutch. Next, to the southeast lies a chain of hills known as the Aravli Range. And lastly, children, the desert extends to the west up to our neighboring country Pakistan till Indus River basin. So some part of this desert also lies in our neighboring country Pakistan up till the Indus River basin. Now here children, we have come across two new words. First was Run of Kutch and second is Aravli Hills. Now firstly children, what is Run of Kutch? Run of Kutch children is a wide salty desert. So Run of Kutch is a place in India where the land is covered with white salt. So since it is covered with white salt, that is why this place is known as Run of Kutch. And now children, next, what is Aravli Range? Aravli Range is a long chain of hills. So this long chain of hills is known as Aravli Range, and you can clearly see children in this image which is given in your book. Aravli Range lies just below the Great Indian Desert. So Aravli Range lies to the southeast of the Thar Desert. Okay, now we will move to climate children. The climate in the desert is very extreme, that is, very hot in summers and cold in winters. During summers, the days are hot and dry. As the sun sets, it becomes cooler. This is because the sand gets heated up quickly in the day and cools down fast at night. During the winter time, the days are pleasant, but the nights become very cold. Now, children, the climate in the desert region is very extreme. Extreme means that in summers it is very hot and in winter it becomes very cold. Now, during summer days, children, during summer, the days in the desert is very hot. So, in the morning time, it is very hot and dry. But when the sun sets, then it becomes cooler. So when the sun is shining, it is hot and dry, but when the sun sets, when the sun goes down, it becomes very cold. And now children, why does it become cool at night? In the morning time it's very hot, but at the night time it becomes very cold. Why? It is because the sand has a tendency to become very hot when the sun shines brightly, but when the sun sets, the sand cools down very fast at night. So, the sand has a tendency to become very hot when the sun is shining, but when the sun sets, the sand becomes very cold. And that is why, children, the temperature at the night time drops. It becomes cold at the night time. Now, lastly, children, in the winters or in the winter time, the daytime is pleasant. So in the daytime, the temperature is moderate. But at the night time, it becomes very cold. So it becomes very cold at night, whereas the daytime is pleasant during the winter season in the Thar Desert. So children, today we have learned about the introduction to the Thar Desert, and we also read about the climate of the Thar Desert. Now in the next class children, we are going to learn about the vegetation and landforms which are there in the Thar Desert. Okay, so children, please revise the portion that we have done today, and I will see you in the next class. Thank you children.